I'm not sounding.
Hi everybody, look who's back.
We're back!
How you doing? We are so glad to see you.
I feel very loud. We seem very loud.
We are very loud because we're very excited.
We are.
We get to be live again and we get to be in your house on your TV doing things that we do live. So anyway, guys, glad to see you. I'm just going to work on a few things to get the computer up and running here so I can see what we're doing. And
well, hello, Katie Batty.
We have a very
Katie Batty. Katie Batty.
a little rusty, but we'll be okay.
A
little rusty, but that's okay.
Hi, Danny.
Hi, everybody. How are you? It's good to see you. We are
Hi, Alice.
So glad to be here. Oh man, it has been too long, and we are back in a groove. YouTube's changed a few things, so I'm kind of getting used to it a little bit.
Hey, Alicia.
We are glad to see everybody. Hi, everyone. We got a great show tonight. We just want to say hi to people.
Back.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Hi. How are you? It is really good to see all of you, and we are going to have a lot of fun tonight.
Tim.
We've got a lot of fun things to talk about. Heather is crocheting madly.
I'm a little nervous.
Why?
I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous because we're
very
back
exciting.
And we haven't been here in like 90 days.
But listen, we've got Katie in the background cooking something that we will.
Hey, Sharon.
We will be cutting to her every once in a while. But we've got stuff to talk about in our story. We've got stuff to talk about in the Goin Batty kitchen. We've got some homeschool tips and tricks to share with you. Garden update, favorite things, favorite movie of all time, and oh, what resources we have.
Alice says that we're back in the right place. Like, I'm back where I'm supposed to be because on Facebook we're flipped around.
Oh, yeah.
So that way, whenever we show anything, like if we show a book or something, like the writing's always backward on it. Now it's forward when we show it.
Oh yeah,
it's
that's
right
good.
Now.
That's smart. That's very smart. Very good. Yeah. Well, glad to see you guys. Hi, Mom. How are you? Good to see you. We are.
Hi, Marge, and hi, retired and prepping, and Allie Oakley. That's Allison. I remember. From before. She changed her name. So I'm not going to say her last name on here.
Okay.
So that,
gotcha.
You know, because
Michelle?
Yes.
How are you?
So,
AJ Raisin.
Yeah. Patty's here. Hey, Crystal and Patrick. I missed your live stream last night. I was so mad because I didn't get any kind of, like, notification. I'm going, they should be going live at some point. And then I get on it and you're already done. And I'm like, poop.
Well, let's jump right into the show. We've got some great things to talk about. Our story lately has been all about trees in our yard. As you guys know, we have moved into a more urban environment, and as you know, we have been off of YouTube for a while, and while you were gone, our trees have grown out of control. And so the question remains, if a tree falls on a Goin Batty kid, will you hear it?
Yes, because they scream.
And then they go, squish.
And if it falls in your neighbor's house, they're going to hear it too.
Yeah.
They won't be happy.
Hi, J. Joe.
Hi,
Christy. We are going to have 3 trees cut down in our yard. Count them.
Carrie.
3. 2 silver maples and 1 pine. The silver maples, the wood's not bad to burn, but it's not great. The pine you can't burn. We're thinking about getting a fire thing.
Fire pit?
No, a fire thing.
Oh, a wood-burning stove?
A wood-burning stove.
Yeah.
You know, a fire thing. And so...
probably now would be a good time when they're all going on sale.
I think so, too, because it's going to be really hot. So why not get it now, you know?
Katie's making stuff.
Yeah, so she's that noise you hear.
She's making a super simple pound cake. She's making little pound cake. Actually, can we turn this around so they can see her?
Yes, but...
I don't know how to do that. How do you do that?
You got to get her out of the way.
Oh, okay. So
there she is.
Yeah, there she is. So she's making a 2-ingredient cake. So
and that's Max down there. If you didn't see him go by.
Like pumpkin.
Yeah. So what you do, you take a can of pumpkin and a box cake mix, and then that's all you need. You don't need any eggs. You don't need any oil, and it comes out like kind of denser, like a pound cake. So we're putting a little mini pound cake, pan. So yeah.
Yes.
But remember, guys, if you have a question please put it in capital letters so that you can see it, because sometimes they go
all
flying
caps.
by super fast.
That's right.
So, yeah.
So, anyway, what we were saying was before the mixer turned on.
And got super loud. Okay, she's done.
We are going to have three, count them, three trees cut down. And I got 4 different estimates. Check this out, guys. The first estimate was $5,500 for 3 trees. The second estimate, $4,500. The third estimate was $4,000. And the fourth estimate was $4,000. So I've got a couple of decisions to make about what trees we're going to cut down, and God, that's a lot of tree. That's a lot. But here's what I keep thinking to myself. I think, okay, I've got to get these things cut down, because if we have a big storm and a tree blows over or a limb breaks off, I'm paying for my neighbor's car. And I can't do that. And so these trees have grown bigger than they should have. And so we're gonna back off on it a little bit.
Hold on just a second. It said, Christy was saying that 2 kids at the high school across the street from her shot each other a few hours ago.
Oh no!
So
that's
we
terrible.
need to be praying for that. That's yeah.
Christy, I'm so sorry.
That's not good.
It's just crazy, man. All the things that have happened with the school shootings, it's out of control.
Yeah.
It's just a problem. And we're not going to get into that whole discussion tonight, but we'll be praying, and it's just really sad that stuff's going down.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got this tree thing.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that we're dealing with. The second thing is we are getting ready to have a car search. We're going on a car search for a new vehicle, and to the Goin Batty crew, it is always a new to us vehicle.
We don't buy new.
So finding the best used vehicle at the best price is always our biggest concern.
Because we want to pay cash for it. We don't want to.
That's
we
right.
don't want to have to make a payment on it, and it's sad because we call my van Margot, and I love Margot. But Margot is Margot is kind of like
hi, Donna Terry.
That she's kind of elderly and she runs, but certain things don't work nearly as well as they used to.
Are you talking about Donna Terry? Because she may not like that.
I'm talking about my van.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We have to talk quiet because I'm afraid if the van hears us, she might quit working altogether. But like the sliding doors aren't working right anymore, and we got lights that are coming on that shouldn't, and so yeah, it's.
J-Jo's asking a question.
Yes.
How long do you bake the pumpkin pound cake, please?
How much do you bake them for? How long do you bake them for, Kate? What does it say?
It said something. Oh, that was. It felt weird, and I'm just like, what the heck is it?
How long?
All right.
25 to 30 minutes.
25 to 30 minutes.
To 30 minutes.
Is that for cupcakes or is that for a cake?
Cupcakes.
Okay,
I
so
searched up cupcakes.
Okay.
All right. So anyway, we've got the car issue, and we're looking at a couple of different kinds. Okay. So one of the vehicles that we're looking at is a Expedition, with the third row seating, because we need seats for 6 people when we go everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's important. And then we have a kind of a second option, which is the Excursion, which is a rather large vehicle.
They don't even make those anymore.
They don't make them anymore. But then we have a 12-passenger van, which is an idea. But they have, and she's real excited about that.
I'm not,
as you can
because
tell.
that becomes like.
I'm gonna have to drive it, and she's gonna get my car. If we get a 12-passenger van, that's exactly what will happen.
My fear is it's gonna become like Angela.
Hi, Angela.
Or Jose.
Or Jose, but I bet it's both. It's good to see you guys.
Yeah. So we're kind of. I'm not sure I really want a 12-passenger van. That's kind of a big.
I do.
And here's my thing: is I'm afraid that we're gonna be like hauling all the youth ministry kids everywhere.
No. Think of this. We have it's not about the youth ministry at all. What it is, and these are my thoughts. We get a 12-passenger van, that's a 3500 that can tow stuff. I can tow a travel trailer behind us, and we can go wherever we want with our house behind us.
We don't have a travel trailer.
Our vacation house. We don't have it yet. But what if we do?
Do they
you know
still,
what I mean?
Can you still go to Indiana and rent them?
I don't know the answer to
There
that.
used to be a place where you could rent them, which was kind of nice.
Yes.
Because you didn't have to store it yourself.
It was Tom Raper out in
Yeah,
Indiana,
yeah.
but he's gone now, so that's not applicable. The other thing is that having a van that you can tow something with means you can get a lot of other things done.
Yeah.
So I think we should get a 12-passenger van. I'll drive the 12-passenger van. She can have my sporty little Dodge Caliber, and all is right with the world.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
Okay, so here's my thing. Like I said, we've got a budget for it, and we want to pay cash for it. We don't want to, do any kind of payment thing or anything. And I would go to a minivan again. My issue is that nowadays it's really hard. Our kids are getting bigger. We don't have any extra room really for anyone. If we need to like haul my mom somewhere, Kevin has to drive separate.
Hi Virginia. Hi Laura. Hi Susan.
I get tired of every minivan that we've had that has had electronic doors. They have gone out, and it just frustrates the snot out of me. And like there was one point where we couldn't get in the car. The kids had to climb in through the back hatchback, and I'm like, this is just not fun.
That's too funny.
She's still running, and we're still getting from point A to point B, and we're just praying that God brings along the right vehicle for our family. So like I said, I would prefer an SUV because now my kids are big enough that they're not climbing all over each other to get in and out.
But think how much room there would be in a 12-passenger van for
I feel
our
like
family.
I'm driving a school bus.
But you wouldn't be driving it, I would. You'd have the sporty little Dodge Caliber.
Okay.
Hey everybody, like my new Dodge Caliber? I'm really cool. That's what she would be doing. But I don't think
It
she
says
would.
if you get a white, you have
A white line.
Yeah, wrap it in a Goin Batty logo. A percentage becomes tax deductible.
That's
like
awesome.
what percentage becomes tax deductible?
Tina, you're right. An SUV can tow a trailer.
Yeah.
You're right. But still, anyway.
Yeah, Angela's giving us. She's telling us to check the taxes and registration cost, and make sure the insurance and gas mileage. She's looking out for us.
Thank you, Angela.
She is. So that's very sweet of her.
Pray for the 12-passenger van.
I don't know about that.
Each kid gets their own row.
I know,
I don't know
right?
about
It's
that.
a win-win-win.
Yes,
win,
but who
win.
sits in the back?
Win,
Everyone
win,
gets
win,
car
win,
sick
win.
when you sit back there.
Not when we give them car sick medicine, they fall asleep.
Okay, that's awful.
All right,
All
so
right,
anyway,
next thing.
I've got a little bit of postnasal drip, excuse me.
We're having allergy issues here. Okay, so yesterday it was 56 degrees outside. And
No, not yesterday. It was a little cooler yesterday.
Oh, it was
a little cooler.
It was like, I think the high was like
a
52.
A couple days ago.
The high was 52 yesterday because
Okay.
I had the windows open.
Okay.
And today it's like 34. And
Yep.
with like 15-mile-an-hour winds.
Mm-hmm.
So
Should we tell them that we are planning a trip to Texas?
we are.
We are doing 2 trips. One is
maybe 2.
maybe 2.
Yeah.
We're trying to make 2.
Yeah.
We're planning one to go to the Appalachia Homestead Conference.
Yes.
We'd really like to go to that. And if we can, that's going to happen. The second one is we're planning a trip to Texas to
see my
Dallas
family.
Fort Worth. And
I already have my cousin. She's already said we could stay with her, which
Yes.
is exciting.
So
I love her. She's awesome.
Is it near where? Give us a general idea where they are. I don't know where they are.
Dallas, Fort Worth,
Oh, done. Okay.
Grapevine area.
Yeah.
Around there. So
Yeah, so we're going on the road maybe.
On the road again.
We've got a few.
Angela says happy dance.
Yay! And so we're gonna figure out what that looks like.
Yeah.
But the other thing that we wanted to acknowledge is we kind of have a new channel we're obsessed with. And it's going to lead us into kind of our Goin Batty kitchen discussion. So the Goin Batty kitchen is Heather and all the things that she cooks, and Katie and all the things that she cooks, and we have been fascinated by a channel that we want to let you guys know about called Recipe Archaeology.
And we talk about them all the time.
And they're great. What are their names?
It is Stephanie and Christine.
And these are two teachers.
Well, one of them's a teacher.
Okay.
Christine's a teacher. I believe Stephanie may be stay-at-home mom.
Okay, I don't know.
But they are so funny.
They're hilarious.
And they inspired me.
Oh.
Look what I went out and bought. It's a Jell-O mold.
She didn't just buy one, she bought several.
I got 3 because we're gonna do something.
We are gonna pay tribute to Recipe Archaeology in the Goin Batty kitchen.
And I was so excited because I got this for $2. We were over at the thrift store and I scared a lady to death because I thought, I'll find a Jell-O mold over there. You know how hard these things are to find?
They
are hard.
They are hard to find.
And when I found it, I was like, oh my gosh, there it is. And I scared the woman standing next to me. She's like,
yeah, I'm like, yay, we got it.
He was like, yay.
I don't know if you've ever watched the channel or not, but they have a particular set of recipe books that they always follow.
Yeah.
And in those recipe books, there's something that always shows up.
Jell-O.
Jell-O. So
well, not in everyone. They did one.
Almost every single one.
What was it yesterday where they made a spice cake with Campbell's tomato soup in it?
Yes.
And so,
we're gonna make our own recipes, and we're gonna do a tribute to them
because we need to get these ladies to 1,000 subscribers.
Yes, we do.
They totally should have way more subscribers than they do.
Yes, they should. They're very good.
They're funny the way that they banter back about. Like I loved it. Like the last one, Christine was yelling at the bird. She was arguing with the bird that was in the room. So
here's some of the Jell-O we're gonna be making. We're gonna be making Jell-O.
No, we can't tell them it's a surprise.
Well, what do we have all the stuff out for then?
I don't know. They always will give them names.
I'm very disappointed. I thought we were going to be doing the whole thing here.
We'll give them names.
She petted me, so
we'll give them names. So like they always have really kind of like cool names. Like they did one where it was like the Island Breeze, like Jell-O mold or something like that. And so we're going to do a play on that. And ours is going to be called the Fisherman's Wharf. And then we have one that's going to be called the Teacher's Pet. And then we're going to have one. This is my favorite. Aunt Bethany's Christmas Vacation Surprise Jell-O is what we're gonna make, and I'm so excited.
The channel is Recipe Archaeology.
Yes.
Yes. So the biggest thing that you guys got to remember is that we are going to make some really funny dishes, and this is all tributed to them. And their creativity, their ability to take things from the 1970s and make them into these dishes. And then, as if that wasn't enough, they're brave enough to eat them.
Yes.
They're brave enough to eat them.
And that actually is almost... That's almost the funniest part, watching them eat them, because like the faces, especially Christine, the faces that she makes sometimes is kind of like, oh my gosh. So,
absolutely.
But no, they are awesome. And they went live the other day and I had to laugh because if you look, and it was last week, if you look in the background, they have a chia pet there. And if you look real closely, it's a Bob Ross chia pet, which I thought was hysterical. It has this great big bushy hair all around it. It's awesome.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, our kids like Jell-O, but not with some of the stuff we're going to put in it. So anyway, that's going to be... Let's get those folks to 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
Okay, so right now, if you're watching this, go over to their channel, Recipe Archaeology, and click subscribe. And let's just give them a big, ginormous present of subscribers.
Yeah.
They're great ladies. And then, if you don't mind, take one of your favorite videos of theirs and post it to your Facebook page and share it there. Because then they'll get to, then all of your Facebook friends will see it and they'll start getting more subscribers.
I'm trying to think what my favorite one that they did was.
Oh my gosh, this last one was genius. But the other...
was it Great Bouillon?
Oh, yeah. That was live. They did that live.
That was funny, but
oh my gosh.
The artillery punch, that one was funny. I mean, there's just a lot of them. They are really, really funny ladies. So what's next on our thing?
Yeah. Our next thing is...
I gotta show them. I see. Hold on.
One of the things that we do is we do a lot of homemade stuff, and we try to make a lot of homemade stuff. All right.
Sorry.
There we go. We're live. Heather makes some awesome stuff from scratch. She made biscuits tonight. We had breakfast for dinner. I love it when we have breakfast for dinner. We had eggs, and we had bacon, and we had sausage, and then she made homemade
biscuits. Yes.
Biscuits. Thank you. All right. Cool.
All right. So
Hi, Wholesome Roots.
I'll show you here. I have
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
Wholesome Roots. Love watching your channel. Thank you for being with us tonight.
I used the Living on a Dime, right here. I used their baking mix recipe, which is awesome because I thought, I had tried baking mix once before and it didn't turn out right. It tasted weird. So I used that recipe and it tasted great. We've made pancakes with it so far and we've made biscuits with it so far. And Tara's right. I mean, even at Aldi when I buy baking mix, it's like, gosh, what is it? Like nearly $3.50 a box, something like that, or $2.50 a box.
Yes.
And it is a lot cheaper to make a whole big bunch of it up. And we've actually been using it and I'm almost done with it because it's all the way down here. But what I did is I took the recipes that we would use the most and I wrote them on the container. So like here's pancakes.
Hi, Deep South Homestead.
Here's the biscuits and here is muffins. So the ones that we would use the most, I wrote the recipe on the outside of the container and it has worked really well. So yeah, hey Deep South Homestead, I'm glad to see them here.
Yeah, me too.
So but yeah, so that worked out really, really well for us. And it is a lot less expensive than buying Bisquick.
Okay, totally. We should as I'm watching the live stream, we should do a couple shout outs. Living on a Dime, love that channel. They're awesome to us. They're wonderful people. The big family. We got to be praying for Brad. He's sick.
Yeah, he has pneumonia. That's what it is he has. So we need to be praying for him. And I just want to say, just Deep South Homestead, I watched your porch time video that you did yesterday and I thought it was just so well done and how you were talking about the community that you built and how that's so important to you. And I'm like, yes, because there's just so many people that want to bash YouTube and all of this and that and everything. And like you said, you know, the community that you've built is way more important than any like stance that you want to take. You know, and I really appreciated that. So thank you very much. And here's another thing. If you want to know anything about planting, Deep South Homestead and the Old Alabama Gardener. Old Alabama Gardener just put up a video on how to plant strawberries in a gutter. If you want to learn how to can anything, Wanda from Deep South Homestead and she does, I mean, she's amazing at that. And the other one is Patera from Appalachia Homestead. Oh yeah. I mean, those are the ones that, again, like I can't binge.
Well, there's a ton of great channels. Two Family Homestead, Bandana Grandma.
I can't. It's funny because
amazing.
There are certain ones that I can't just binge watch videos because there's so much information in it. I'm like, okay, I have to stop this now and I have to take notes. so just with saying that, just thank you for that video that you put out. That was really encouraging.
We have Heather and I have an ongoing joke that is people really tune into the Goin Batty channel to see Heather. And we've always back and forth about this. And Deep South Homestead just confirmed it. They said, I'm chilling watching Heather waiting on JM at the Nut House to arrive.
Yeah. Well, they're having their get-together.
Yes.
And, like, I'm so jealous because I saw...
we couldn't get away for that one,
oh, shoot. Daryl and Sherry from Two Family. They did a little bit of a live video of them going down. They were just above Columbus.
Is it over already?
Well, no. I think it's Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Wait, I don't know. It's this weekend, maybe? I'm not sure. But Sharon's going to be there, too. Yeah. Sharon Burke. So I'm excited for them. So, yeah.
So, anyway, some of the other things that we're doing are... homeschooling, of course, and we're gonna plow into that. Is there anything else they need to know about the Goin Batty kitchen?
We are going to be. I've been doing. We're gonna go back to Cookie Friday, and And we're going to, where'd the book go? Kate, do you know where the book is?
Which one?
Depending on which.
This book? The cookie book that's spelled.
The little cookie book that's spelled wrong.
That's spelled wrong and it annoys you.
I don't know.
Okay, well we have a vintage cookie book that my grandmother gave me.
Yep.
And the cookies that we did for Cookie Friday, they were from that book, the butterscotch cookies. So there's like, I don't know, 15, 20 different recipes in there. Like, I'm going to stay away from the ones that have like figs and dates in it because that's not my jam. But we're going to try cookies out of that book, you know.
Yep.
We might not have to, we really shouldn't do them every week because that's a whole lot of cookies in this house.
Yeah.
But
we have a 5-pound bag of chocolate chips that we have to eat.
Yeah, I went to Gordon Food and I was talking to myself and I was like, should I get the big bag of chocolate chips? And then all of a sudden my conscience said, yes, you should. And then I realized it wasn't my conscience, it was my youngest son.
Oh.
So, and I bought him. So, but that's funny. Okay because they can use them in a lot of different things.
I'm eating them. We're not going to have some pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but yeah, so I'm going to probably be doing the Cookie Friday stuff. We're going to be doing the tribute to recipe archaeology.
Absolutely.
And that one might take a little longer because Jello needs time to set up.
Yes. And if I can, Heather just does a great job, you know.
I smell the cakes.
I do too.
They smell good.
The batter tastes like pumpkin. It's sad.
Does it? I've never had that problem before. Okay, well.
Well, once it cooks, we won't have it again. You know. I just put a link down on the live stream so you guys can find Recipe Archaeology if you haven't found them yet. By all means, give that a look. And,
Angela, that's awesome. Angela's lost 32 pounds.
No, 23 pounds.
23. I'm sorry. My dyslexia kicking in. Sorry. I am rooting for you to do 32. How's that? All right.
So anyway, the next with nothing else with the Goin Batty kitchen.
No, that's I try not to put too much stuff out there because I don't want to disappoint any mom when I'm like I don't do it. So
23 pounds in 34 days.
That's awesome.
Impressive.
Yeah, that's impressive.
That's very impressive.
Yeah.
Well done. Very well done. So anyway, we're moving into homeschool. We've got 4 kids and we're homeschooling. Okay. Heather's homeschooling all 4 of them.
Yeah.
I am I'm supportive. But
being the breadwinner.
Yes, I'm winning bread everywhere. There's just bread being run everywhere. Anyway, I'm sorry. Deep South Homestead got my attention. They said we have been thinking about this collab for a year. Liz, love the ideas and agree to be our first person join. I jumped from there. Hope everyone will join us. Well, all right.
You're not allowed to have these.
So, all right. So homeschool.
Okay, homeschooling. Yeah. We're gonna jump through that. What we thought we would do is bring you some tips and tricks that Heather has found that have helped her in homeschooling, so that homeschooling has a tendency, it can be very flat if you let it be. But our kids are very tactile and they hands-on stuff.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Especially my boys.
Distracted.
My boys are very...
They're like me.
Well, I mean, even Katie to an extent, but I feel like my boys need that touch it, feel it, mess with it, take it apart, put it back together kind of stuff.
Yep.
And here's the thing. Curriculum is not one size fits all. Like, we had a curriculum that I thought was going to work. And I got it like at the beginning of the year. And at first it started out, it was good. And then it just fell flat. Like
we have a ton of homeschool families on here right now.
Do?
They're just talking.
Awesome.
Keep going. You're doing great. But let me say this. Deep South Homestead said they homeschooled 5 children when homeschooling wasn't cool.
I was homeschooled.
When Heather was very, very much not cool.
Yeah, when homeschooling wasn't cool. People would look at us and they'd be like, you're
home what? Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, I get out of school in like May.
Yeah.
So, or April would be the end of April.
AJ Raising Arrows.
Yeah.
And so there's a few people on there that homeschool. But the tactile part of this is discovering how to put what you're learning into practice.
Yeah,
and I missed part of what you said,
but there are certain things like I said, I had a curriculum that I thought was going to work and it didn't, and we wound up going back to the curriculum that we were using before that we really liked, and
easy peasy homeschool,
and it worked because there is a lot of tactile stuff in that one.
Yes.
And now things that we've done is we've made a tornado in a jar.
Oh, and it's right up there.
We made a volcano.
And it's not there.
No, our volcano fell apart. It finally broke. But we have done our timeline, our biblical or Old Testament timeline, and then our Revolutionary War timeline. We have done, Miles made a lung one year where you had a soda bottle and you had a balloon that was on the inside, and then you had a balloon that was at the bottom, and you would pull the bottom of it and it would actually expand the balloon on the inside to mimic what a lung is like when you take a breath in.
Yep.
So that was something tactile for him to do. Max was learning how to figure out what the volume of something was. And we went round and round and round and round about that. And he would do length and the width. And I would tell him, well, I said, think about it. You've got a swimming pool and you need to fill it with water. And so
this is funny.
And so he did length and width. And I was like, congratulations, you just figured out how much carpet can go in your swimming pool.
You just carpeted the pool.
And he goes, I'm okay with carpeted swimming pools. And I'm
until
like,
you jump into it.
No. And so we did, we had to do length, width, and height. And so we would bring a container out and we would mark on the container so he could see it, the length, the width, and the height of it. And so that way you could find out what the volume is, and you had to multiply all those together. And like, I'm having to relearn stuff too, because you know how long it's been since I've done stuff like that. I'm like, I'm not in the...
I'm not answering that question, dear. You're 29.
But yes, I'm 29. That's right. We did... shoot, I lost my train of thought. Choo-choo. Teaching my kids fractions. Miles is learning fractions and decimals and stuff like that. I bring him into the kitchen and we use measuring cups. It was funny because, what was it, yesterday? Jack was asking, he goes, where's the 2/4 cups? And so I just looked at him like, there is no 2/4 cups. And Katie's like, but there's another one that equals 2/4. He goes, well, where's the 2/4 cups? I'm like, there is no 2/4 cups.
And
I'm like, reduce that fraction, son. And he's going, where's the 1/2 cup? But and then what I would do is I would take the equivalent, like with money. So you have like 1/4 of a cup, 1/2 of a cup, 3/4 of a cup, and a whole cup. And then I would put a quarter, 50 cents, 75 cents, and $1, so that they can equate that with it. Because when you do it that way, you're actually doing decimals there, because with money it's done in decimals. So we're learning new ways of doing stuff. And like I said, you may buy a curriculum and like chuck it within like 6 months if you haven't it, or even sometimes like 6 weeks, because it's like, this is just not working. And so I'm finding like a lot of homeschool moms, like,
Bye, Deep South Homestead. Thanks for stopping in.
You have to piece it sometimes together. Like Katie didn't particularly care for the math that we have in the curriculum that we're using now, so she has a different math. The boys love it.
Yeah.
So it works well for them. But yeah, so that's just some of like the tactile things that we've done, and we find more and more of them, as we go, and the projects that we have the kids do, and the things that we have them like sometimes build and stuff like that. Math is all in that. And so yeah, that's kind of our homeschooling stuff that we have going on.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we're learning how to do is, when you homeschool a child, where do you get the diplomas from? There's a couple of different... Well, yeah. And so for diplomas, you can actually, depending on your state, you can request it from the state of Ohio and their Board of Education, and the Ohio... whateverville, Board of Education. Is that what it's called?
This one I'm not super sure about.
Yeah.
Because I haven't really researched it that much, because we don't have any kids in high school yet. Which is coming up.
Next year. Katie's in 9th grade next year.
I believe with that one, like, it has to be signed by the superintendent of the district that you live in with Ohio. But don't quote me on that. I might be wrong. But the other thing that you can do, and I know that we've talked about them before, but the Homeschool Legal Defense Association, you can purchase transcripts and a diploma in this little case with the kid's name on it and everything. And so you have a diploma and you have high school transcripts.
Baker Mom said, I ordered my son's diploma from the Homeschool Legal Defense Fund. It was really nice in one case, and I was reasonably priced.
Yeah, I think that they're like under $40. So yeah, so they're don't switch it on there where it won't come off. Okay.
But also transcripts. I mean, we have to have some sort of transcript for them when they go to try to do something college-y.
Yeah.
And we've got to make sure that we're learning how to do that. So that's kind of the next step of some of the homeschool things that we're going to be learning about.
Because Katie goes into the 9th grade next year.
That's right. Yeah. And so we want to make sure that... I'm sorry, my son is being very distracted right now. It's like behind the scenes, there's this whole
He's got a laser
show.
Pointer, and we're both like, ah.
We're following it more than dog or the cat are.
Yeah.
We're like,
the cat looks at it like, I am not like some trained seal. I'm not chasing your stupid light. So
yeah. So anyway, take it from him if he continues to drive us crazy.
Okay.
Even if you have to wrestle him to the ground.
Yeah.
So the garden update.
Well, with the trees coming down, we're going to have to put on hold building our garden beds because they got to get those trees out first before we can do that. And that will open up some more space for us, but we do have our front flower beds that we can do stuff in. And so we're going to pull the leaves off of it and not yet because we don't plant anything here until after Mother's Day because
Christy, we need to circle back to homeschool for just a second.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Have your children always been homeschooled?
No, they have not. And actually, I never thought I would homeschool my kids.
And there's a whole story we've talked about. Have we talked about this on the show at some point? I think we did.
I think we might have, but I can just do like a little bit of a refresher. We have a child that has what's going on.
Just keep talking.
Has been diagnosed with dyslexia and ADD. He doesn't have the HD because his teacher said he was always very polite and very well-mannered when he didn't focus. So...
How do they look, Kate? Can you bring them over here so we can see them?
His own child. Make sure they're done first.
Oh, okay. All right, because that looks really good.
No,
I don't know what those are, but I can't wait to eat one of them.
Those are little pound cakes.
Oh, little pound cakes. She's checking to see if they're done. So, hi, Rain Country.
I love her. She has some of like the coolest videos. Like she makes her own everything. Like
her own everything? Really?
No, like I don't think there's a thing in this world that woman cannot make.
Okay.
And it is awesome. Why did you do that?
There's chocolate on it.
Oh, okay.
What did you do?
I licked the knife after I put it in the cake batter. That wasn't a good idea.
The hot just bakes. Her tongue.
She loses more
taste buds that way.
Okay, so Katie's making those.
Yeah.
Ooh la la.
Ooh la la. Ooh la la.
Yeah. All right. We'll turn you back around so you don't get too sick. There we go. All right.
So what were we talking about? Oh,
Rain Country Homestead.
Well, no, we were talking about. No, she's awesome. That's what I'm saying. She's awesome.
That's all we're saying.
Shoot. Well, we had so our kids were in public school. We were in Maryland. We were in the best school in the entire state almost. I mean, it was the best school in Baltimore County, and
supposedly
now Max had a teacher before, Mrs. B, who was just incredible. She and I think part of the reason why she was so good with him is that she had a child with special needs.
She understood him. She had a son with autism, his needs,
and I remember when I went to the first parent-teacher conference with her. Max told me he didn't like her because she made him do things that he couldn't do, and so I'm in there and I'm listening to her and she goes, Mrs. B, my last name. She goes, I know what Max is capable of. And she kind of shared her story with me. She goes, my son, I've been told all his life, all the things that he can't do.
Yep.
And she goes, and my son is excelling because I'm not giving up on him. And she says, and the same thing with Max. Like, I know, she goes, I know your son is a brilliant kid. He really is. He is super smart. He is very articulate. And, you know, and she was just wonderful. And she worked with him and she gave him...
She taught us how to work with him.
Yeah, she taught us how to work with him. Well, we moved from that area and we moved into another school district. And he had an IEP. He had, you know, all the stuff that we needed.
IEP, a C3PO, an R2D2, and one of them HSMs.
But anyway, we...
I have no idea what those meant. Sorry.
We moved schools, and the other thing too is we said we will not medicate him.
Right.
That is an absolute last resort, because that was one of the first things. Not Mrs. B. She didn't jump to that.
No.
But when we moved to this new school, that was one of the first things that they said. Well, he needs to be on medication because he just can't focus. And I'm like, that he sits in a windowless room for 7 hours a day. Like, of course he can't focus. And when he's in the room with the window, he's like staring out the window.
That's right.
But and I had to quit going to parent-teacher conferences because I would come home so angry. I wanted to bite someone's throat out. I was Kevin had to start going to him because I was just livid, because their answer to everything was, well, he just needs to study harder. He needs to work harder. And I said,
yes, and he's a boy, and he needs to be moving.
Yeah.
And it's not, there's no cookie cutter way for a person to learn.
Yeah.
We all try to have certain standards so that we can all be on the same page to a degree. And the truth of the matter is that you have to go a little bit different with each person, because each person is it's so different the way they learn. Well, I don't learn the same way Heather does.
I feel like that if you look at the way like public school is set up, or just school in general, it's kind of set up for girls. We're all here and we're all sitting and we're all doing our work, and my boys have to get up and they have to move. And so I would get angry because it was like, what takes other kids like an hour to do in homework, it's 4 hours and a bunch of tears and anger and venom. I mean, there was a point where like I'm like, what is going on? And he finally broke down and started crying. And he told me, he's like, Mom, I know I'm the dumb kid. And I'm like, what? He was like, I know I'm the dumb kid. I'm in the dumb kid reading class. And, the kids at school are telling me that I'm stupid and everything. And,
hi, Isabel.
And so I was just beside myself. And I'm like,
we were pretty ticked.
Yeah. And so Kevin went to another meeting, and they weren't following the IEP that was given to him. It was kind of a mess. And like, I'm not saying all public schools are bad and that all, there are wonderful teachers out there, but this particular situation
necessitated
was, and we had a lady at the church that we went to who goes, well, have you ever thought of homeschooling? I'm like, yeah, my mom homeschooled me, and my mom is a very different personality than I am. She's very laid back. She doesn't get her feathers ruffled very easily, and I tend to be a little more like my dad, where it was like, just do it. So, and I thought, oh, this is not going to be good. Well,
the first year,
we decided we were going to homeschool Max.
Yeah,
and then each one of our kids came to us and go,
I want to be homeschooled.
Could we be homeschooled too? And I'm like, well, go big or go home. So we wound up doing all 4 of them. And the first year was
scary.
Kind of unschooling them from the way that school is. We didn't.
No, it was scary.
It was scary. There was a lot of tears and anger and trying to teach my kids that, we don't necessarily have to sit at the table and do school. If you are more comfortable and you can think better sitting on the couch
or outside in the yard.
If you need to go jump on the trampoline for a while,
Yeah, I think one of the most favorite parts that I experienced of our homeschooling journey was when we discovered all the things that you could learn outside about the subjects that you're teaching. And
Kevin was really good at that, because I would get frustrated because I had to kind of unschool myself too and go, okay, school doesn't have to be the way that it was for me when I was in public school. And did they?
Some of them stuck.
Did they stick?
No, they didn't. They're not gonna stick.
She's like, no, they're fine. Keep talking on your little talk show.
The first year, I thought my kids, I'm not sure they learned anything, but then I started to hear them talk about things and go, wait a minute, they did learn something. Well, what do you know? And so we're in our third year now, and we're still learning and new ways of doing things and what works for some and what works for others, and the subjects that we don't like.
Yourself again.
Don't like it, Katie.
The subjects that we do like, and Katie loves
subjects that we don't like. Math.
Yeah, Katie hates math. Max likes math. Katie likes writing. Max would rather have his fingernails pulled out than write.
Writing right now is terrible.
Because it's because math
all the kids are
makes
starting
sense.
to talk now.
Yeah.
Math makes sense, right? I mean, math is okay. It's not my favorite, but it makes sense, and writing doesn't.
If he wants to say it, he'll just say it. So, but yeah, so that's kind of our journey into homeschooling, and then a while back. I mean, not to get like.
Can I say a few things here?
Yeah.
So Heather has obviously bore the brunt of a lot of this because I go to work every day. But our first year doing this, and anybody's first year doing homeschool, we just got to put the flag up for a minute. You are going to be questioned. You're going to question yourself. Mm-hmm. You're going to be scared to death, thinking that you're breaking some sort of unwritten law that you should be in school and your kids should be in school and you're not good enough and you're not capable enough. All of that is crap. You guys that are thinking about homeschooling your kids, and I know that I know who you are, you need to be told, be confident, do what's right. Do what's right. Yes, Rain Country.
We get that
all the time. And here's what I have to say about that.
The kids are at church. They have friends, here in the
what
neighborhood.
Socialization should we have that's not going to drive them into some sort of culture that we don't want them to be a part of?
Yeah.
There's a certain thing to be said for socialization with other Christian people that are like-minded and want to do what we're doing. I'm not saying we need to be a cult or anything, but I'm saying it is very important for us to think about.
Yeah, that's true. Rain Country, her and Mr. Rain did a video on that last week that I watched. That was really, and it's kind of nice to see other people, like, it's not so weird anymore. And with the way that the world is today and the things that go on in schools and stuff like that now, and like, it was funny because Jack was at his Boy Scout merit badge thing, and he told somebody he was homeschooled, and the kid was like, oh, is that because of the school shootings? He's like, no, I've been homeschooled for 3 years. So, and
just have confidence. You can do this.
And here's the thing, I still struggle with that sometimes. Like, am I doing the right, like, I will question myself, like, am I doing the right thing?
Happy anniversary, Donna.
Is this what's best for my kids? And do I struggle with, do I know enough to teach them what they need to know? Mm-hmm. And so until God tells me not to, I'm going to keep doing it.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think co-ops are useful. You have to find the co-op that fits your family. Here's the danger, okay? Our first year, we learned a lot and we made a lot of mistakes. Don't fit into a co-op. Let the co-op fit into what you're doing. The co-op
our co-op.
Well, in Baltimore, we didn't find one here that we felt comfortable with. And so we're still looking on that, and that's not done. But I think there's a lot to be said for your first year is going to be tough. Get yourself around community. Mm-hmm. Heather had a community of moms that looked at her and said, you're not crazy. You're doing a good job. Keep going.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot to be said for being in community, but at what cost? Because if it's an expensive co-op, I don't know if that's the wisest thing.
Yeah.
Especially if you're homeschooling on a budget like we are.
Yeah. I had to laugh because in our co-op, the moms had to be, or the parents had to be part of kind of the teaching process.
Yeah.
And at first they had me doing home ec. I was like, yes, I can do that. I'm good at that. Well, then they had somebody else asked to do that, and they put me as a gym teacher. One of the gym teachers. I'm like, look at me. Do I look like I like to run?
if I'm running, you should run too, because there's a natural disaster.
A bear is chasing me.
Yes, there's something bad happening, and
all I gotta do is run faster than the next guy. I'll just trip them. So, you know.
Yeah. So anyway, I think there's a lot to be said for being in community that first or second year, and just continue to be encouraged. And we're still encouraged. We need more community, maybe with the homeschool community than what we have, but it's a process. And right now we're in a good spot. And you know, PE. Oh, I was just looking at the live stream. PE for our kids is a whole different ball game. Now, I'm a youth director at a church, and youth group can be a very physical thing. And so, PE for us is a game called Ships and Sailors.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you that right there will get them moving. It's up, down, sideways, up, all over the place.
That's carrying someone.
But you just have to.
Was it finger rocket?
Rocket
It's
war.
kind of like dodgeball where you're using finger rockets with
Finger rocket wars. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of different ways and creative ways that you can do homeschooling. And I just, again, encourage you guys to keep rocking it. And if you guys have questions, info.goinbatty@gmail.com. Email us any homeschool questions that you might have, because an expert's sitting right here beside me.
I'm really not an expert.
She's an expert. She's humble,
well,
but she does a good job.
I know what I know, and I'll try to point you where you need to go. And like I said, for us, the thing that has been great for us is the Homeschool Legal Defense Association, because there is a fee, like I said, to join it, but it's totally worth it, because it has all the information that you need for the state that you live in. All you have to do is plug in your state, and it will tell you what you need. It has all the documents that you need in order to send into the school system. And I like using theirs because it has their letterhead on it, which gives me a little more assurance than just if I did it myself. That, and if you have every parent's worst nightmare where you have the state show up at your door and say, why aren't your kids in school? Like, you can immediately pick up the phone, you can dial them, and you will have a lawyer there talking you through what you need to do. So that is one of those things that I've never known anybody who's ever had to use it.
No. But
just to know that you have it there in case that does happen is a good thing.
Well, let's cruise on through and go to the garden update. We kind of went into that a little bit.
That's right, Mr. Rain. Physical education is chores.
That was actually on one of the curriculum that we have.
Yeah, where it was like, scrub the spot in the carpet? That was one of them.
Right.
I'm like,
scrub
I'm looking
for a
at
long
that.
time, and then scrub more until after your arm hurts.
Hey, trucking it up.
Trucking it up. How are you, man? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. So we're gonna move into the gardening update, and again, that actually can be science when you're homeschooling. Well, and it ties in botany and all kinds of things
too. It can fall into that category.
Yeah, but it's a little bit on hold because we gotta get these trees out of our yard. And we at the beginning of the show talked about the trees and how many we have to take down, and it's going to be about $4,000. And so we've got a lot of things to do before we can just get that done. And we are looking at the front flower beds. And right now they've got some spring flowers.
Well, they got tulips in there. I planted
and there's
those.
Something else in there too. Did you see the weird kind of cone thing?
Oh, those are
They're purple.
Are they little tiny?
Well, yeah, kind of.
They're grape hyacinths.
Oh, grape hyacinths.
Yeah.
There you
or
go.
that's what my grandma called them. They
know
may
what
just
that
be
was
regular
called. Now I know.
hyacinths, and they just haven't bloomed yet.
That's right.
But I planted those when we first moved in here. And so they've kind of like multiplied a little bit, and so we've got some daffodils and some hyacinths. But we also have garlic in our front flower beds.
Yes.
So we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna pull the leaves off of it, and when it's warm enough to pull leaves off of it, and hopefully plant some stuff in there. We might rent a little rototiller, and then put it down. Because I'm thinking, at least there I can plant some of my herbs. Like I can plant my rosemary and my sage and stuff like that, because those can be, they're actually pretty to look at. Will you stop touching
Katie
the
keeps
hot
touching
stuff?
the hot stuff. With the front flower beds, you mentioned the garlic.
Yeah.
We're gonna get kale again.
Hey, Leah and Michelle.
Hi guys.
Yes, we're gonna get kale again. And one thing that I learned from Angela de Jesus is, remember how I planted seeds there before and they didn't do anything? She told me that I needed to soak my seeds overnight.
What was it?
It was beets.
Oh, okay.
She told me I needed to soak my beet seeds overnight. I remember that. I remember you telling me that. So,
good.
Yeah, so we're going to plant some stuff in our front.
Is it Leah's birthday?
Yes, it is.
Happy birthday!
It is Leah's
That's awesome.
birthday.
Very cool.
Yes. So yeah. So that's kind of where we are with the garden right now.
We'll have a few surprises as we go.
Yeah.
You know, we're the trees won't keep us from doing a lot. It's just we've got to get that done first.
And again, we have to do it kind of in stages because we're paying for it as we go. And
it's on March 11th.
March 11th. It's soon.
It's
I knew
coming.
it was soon.
Happy early birthday.
Happy early birthday. That's right.
Yeah.
Or
So,
belated,
we're gonna move into our favorite things now, and I'm gonna let Heather go first.
Okay.
So, what are your favorite things?
So my favorite thing is our brand new toilet. That thing's awesome. It's not the little tiny potty anymore. It's just, and here's the thing. It's not so much the size of the toilet. It's the fact that I would tell my kids you need to use 2 squares of toilet paper because I don't want to clog that toilet up. I mean, it was clogging every other day, and I'm like, ugh. So,
It was.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, this thing is nice. It was $99. We got it at the depot of the house.
Yes.
And it's got 2 buttons on it. One button
Liquid and solids.
is for, well, you saw the video. I don't need to explain this. But I took great joy in the fact that that video did get made. There was a whole other...
Oh my gosh, yeah.
There's a whole nother video on electricity, changing a light switch that did not get made. Matter of fact, an electrician got called.
Yeah.
We got to tell the story. So
Yeah.
I felt very good about changing the toilet. I felt very manly.
Well,
I felt like I could get some things done, and so I took on the toilet. And Max helped me, and he did a great
Well,
job.
and you've changed a toilet out before.
I've done it 1,000 times if
and
I've
he's
done it
light
once.
switches. He's changed out almost every light switch in this house, the other house that we lived in, and the house that we lived in before that.
Except for one.
Except for one. Well,
The one
2.
by our front door.
Yes.
I went to go put in a timer that has a little, a switch that has a little timer in it, and it'll turn your front porch light on, off and on for you, and it's hardwired into your wall. And when I opened this thing up, I tell you what,
It was like an octopus.
I just made a mess out of it. Our house is was built in the 1940s, and in that,
40, it's either 46 or 49.
in
something like
that, there's a lot of old fabric cable. Not cable, but wiring, and that's that crumbly stuff.
Knob and tube is what they call it.
I don't know, but
like
it's
that.
crumbly and it's old, and if you bend it too much, it's gonna break, and you're gonna have sparks everywhere.
Yeah.
How fun.
Well, I went in there and started clipping stuff because it was a mess, and I knew for sure it was gonna burn down, but. I went in there and started clipping stuff, and for the next, and I had every intention of making the video, and I still have the footage from it until the moment where I went, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I gotta call somebody. And so we put all the footage away. We had to call an electrician out, and I thought, the next day I'm at work and I'm thinking, you know what, this is gonna cost me an arm and a leg. I rarely call an electrician or a mechanic and they tell me it's going to be less than $500. Very rarely. And I mucked this thing up so well that the boys' upstairs outlets wouldn't work and the outlets on our wall wouldn't work.
Okay.
It was a disaster.
Let me just say, this is how old houses are wired. So, our living room, half of our kitchen, our bedroom, the bathroom,
Yep.
half of the upstairs,
Keep preaching. Come on.
the garage,
Yes.
are all on one circuit.
One circuit.
All in one circuit. I'm like, this seems bad.
We might have to get that fixed.
Yeah.
I have my
But
own
it is
circuit.
funny because here I am, a novice at it, and I start clipping away. All finished, said and done with the new switch installed, $90.
Yeah.
The guy that came to fix it for us charged me $90, and he used it as a teachable lesson for his
Apprentice. He's a-
apprentice that he had with him.
Yeah.
And I wasn't here for it,
It
so
was
Heather
kind
can
of
tell you
funny
more.
because he walks in
It's old.
and he looks at it. Well, the younger guy gets here first, and he looks at it and he goes, I'm just going to wait for my boss to get here. And I'm like, okay. And so I showed him where the electrical panel was and everything like that. And the older guy gets here, and he's probably late 50s, maybe early 60s.
Yep.
The weird thing is he kind of looked like my dad. It was kind of, I mean, you can ask Max. We kind of both went, like, you know, and so he looked at it, and he goes, this is going to take me a minute. Because there were, I mean, usually, like, there's what, maybe if you have a double switch.
You would have 2 wires.
There's 2.
Maybe 4.
Yeah. And
there were at least 6.
I think there was 8. Because it was the outlet here and the stuff upstairs and the switch. But for the life of me, I can't figure out how in the world
it was a
like
problem.
We flipped the switches and none of the lights went out anywhere else. But he fixed it and everything is fine and the house didn't burn down and all the lights work and it's all good.
And it was a rather comedic moment for me because here I was being all manly thinking I could change that switch, and I'm thinking about calling the guy to do the one in the back door now, so that I don't have to go through all of that.
Well, but I mean, don't get discouraged because you've done light switches before and had no issue with them. It's, you know, don't get, I guess, switch shy.
I'm retired from electrical work now.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm retired. I'm going out.
I promise I won't flip the breaker on and electrocute you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. She's done that before.
Yes, I have. On accident.
Accident.
It was an accident.
Accident. Well, it had to be. I didn't have any good life insurance. Anyway, Mom, Heather loves the new toilet. I have a new thing that I wanted to show you. It's just recently become interesting. Our family has been taken over by a particularly interesting musical called The Greatest Showman. This thing has been outrageous. It has taken over our entire house, and Katie loves it. I love the music.
I like it.
I think the message is a good message, although if you do any research about P.T. Barnum, you know, there was this rumor
totally
going around.
Hollywood.
It's Hollywood, and Barnum was a universalist and not, you know, he wasn't, but he had a lot of really cool things he was cooking.
Like he was
an abolitionist.
He was.
Yeah, he did a lot of.
He actually was part of the was it the temperance movement and stuff like that. So, but yeah, so, I mean, we did some research on him afterward.
So anyway, in that there's a 3D video that you can watch of The Greatest Showman on YouTube. It's called YouTube 360, and when you look around using a device like this, which is Google Cardboard, it's a this is called an Immersiverse VR, and it makes things 3D, and basically it comes in a box and you unfold it like this, and you open it up. It's all cardboard. This is not anything special, and then you just bring it down like this. And it looks like that. Remember the old viewfinders that you used to have?
Yeah, Viewmaster.
Viewmaster. The only difference is you take your phone and you place it inside the said Viewmaster, and then you buckle it up here with the Velcro. And when you look into it, it'll look on particular videos, it'll look 3D. And so we've been enjoying that a lot. We've had a lot of fun with it, and it is one of my favorite things because it is a 3D. It was a gift that we didn't know how to use exactly.
Yeah, because you've had it since.
But it works really, really well. And so I just turn your guys' attention to that because I think it's a lot of fun.
That's one of those things. His mom is always fun at Christmas time because she'll
get creative stuff.
She does. What she does is she buys it on QVC. And, like, I've gotten some really great things from her. Like, she bought me some of the first flameless candles that came out because I had really little kids, and she knew that I liked to burn candles, but I couldn't anymore because I had little kids.
I wear glasses on this baker's mom, and it isn't uncomfortable at all. Matter of fact, it's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it, and it's pretty cheap, too. You just connect it, you get on one of the videos that does the 360 panorama. But I'm telling you, The Greatest Showman, it was a great little treat because
Kate, are you asking us what our favorite song is?
No.
Oh, okay.
What is your favorite song?
A Million Dreams.
Not the reprise.
No, the original one. But
mine's Come Alive.
Yeah.
Come alive, come alive. Yeah. And I also like This Is Me.
Yeah.
This Is Me.
But it's very much about accepting people for who they are.
Yeah.
Don't try to change them. Don't try to fix them. just accept them for who they are.
Well,
and don't chase the other stuff.
I think one of the things that I liked about it is there's so many times in movies where your main character is faced with a moral choice that they have to make. And they always, almost 9 times...
Don and Terry said, how great thou art.
9 times out of 10, that character will make the wrong choice. They will make the selfish choice. They will make the self-gratifying choice. And in this movie, there's a moment where the main character finds himself in a situation and he has a choice to make, and he makes the right one. And I was so happy about that, because when I saw that part coming on, I'm like, no, and then I was like, yay! So,
Heather Leah says she likes your purple jacket.
Oh, thank you.
And then hi Adeline, how are you? And Mr. Rain says Batman or Brain in a Box, Batman, the Riddler.
Ha ha ha. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, so that is, yeah.
Word of God, speak and mercy me. So, everybody's giving you their favorite song, not necessarily from the show, Kate. So
you need to
I should have been specific, but
Yes.
I don't like typing out long stuff.
That's all right.
Yeah.
No problem. So, anyway, we've got the Google Cardboard. We've got the toilet. Now, we're going to talk to you about board shorts.
This is a YouTube channel.
Very funny.
That they do, Board Shorts does something, and we talked about it last week, but for the people that weren't here because we were on Facebook, it's called, in Board Shorts, they have something called Kid Snippets. And what they do is they put 2 little kids in a room, and they'll have just kind of record like they'll give them a topic, and then they'll tell them, you know, well, what would you do in this situation? And they record them doing it, but what they do is they take adults, and adults will act it out. And so they have...
How about a cardboard toilet?
Oh, no.
No.
They will act it out. And it's family friendly. It's really cute. They have one where it's math class that is hysterical. The rules on the bus. That one's really funny. No poop in the pool. That one's really funny too.
The bus is really funny because, well, just watch them.
Yeah.
We're not going to do them justice. These guys are brilliant and they're funny and you'll like it. So
yeah. So I mean, if you're looking for something family friendly on YouTube that'll make you laugh, that's one of them.
Absolutely.
They do little spoofs of, you know, what kids think of Star Wars and stuff like that. It's really cute.
Alice Hagen, you have a cup of coffee waiting. Go get that cup of coffee and come on back.
Yep.
My goodness. Come on now. Anyway, that's it for those. Now, we want to know, and we're going to wrap the show up here in just a second, but we want to know what, and we're going to give you a second to think about this. What is your favorite movie of all time? Favorite movie
of all time?
Of all time, of all the movies that there ever could be back out there in the movie world. What is your favorite movie? Now, before we do that, you guys think about that. Before we do that, Heather's got a shout out for a resource that she has become a big fan of. And while you guys are thinking about it and putting them down, there's a little bit of a delay, so we're giving you time to put those down. Heather's going to tell you about her resource.
Okay, so the resource I had, and I did mention her last week, but I just really think she's doing a fantastic job with these videos, is the Forging Freedom channel. Over there, she calls herself the Patriot Gal. She is doing a series on Cooking 101, and she specifically has started this series for people who never learned how to cook. And if you think about it, there are a lot of people from my generation and younger who don't know how to cook. And I mean, things like, she started with how to make a really great grilled cheese sandwich. And then she did how to cook a spaghetti squash. She did one with butternut squash and pork. And this last one she did was how to do homemade pancakes.
Yep.
So she's doing these series and she's very good at like the teaching aspect of it, why you do what you do and everything. And so if you guys can go over and subscribe to her, and she also has a lot of other stuff, gardening stuff. She does rabbits, all kinds of stuff like that. I've been really enjoying it, and she does a really great job. So you need to subscribe to her. She's pretty awesome.
All right, I'm going to start reading some of the favorite movies, and Heather, you can chime in.
Okay.
But we've got Pride and Prejudice. We've got Tombstone. We've got To Kill a Mockingbird. The Princess Bride. Have fun storming the castle.
As you wish.
He's only mostly dead.
I don't think that word means what you think it means.
Inconceivable. That's it. Anyway, let's keep going. The Greatest Showman, Captain America: Civil War, God is Not Dead, The Breakfast Club, Cooking, I Know How to Spell It.
Cooking Channel, we are talking about our favorite movies right now.
Fiddler on the Roof and Sound of Music, Because the Hills Are Alive.
I love the Sound of Music.
With the Sound of Music. No, all right. I thought she was gonna give me the
No, I don't seem like he does.
And then we've got Arsenic and Old Lace.
Oh my gosh, that one is so funny. I love that movie.
Let me see here. I'm getting lost in some of them.
Who's in the window box? I forget. It was Mr. Somebody, and then Mr. Hoskins. He's down in the basement.
The Wizard of Oz, Fast and Furious, Harry and the Hendersons, The Christmas Card, Spencer Mountain. Let's see. Let's keep going. I don't see it. Oh man, it just jumped on me. Secondhand Lions,
That's
Top
a good
Gun.
one. Secondhand Lions.
Yeah, I did like that one. That was pretty good.
And this is good. This made me sad because I saw a preview for something about this.
Oh, yeah.
I like Mary Poppins.
Guess what they're doing a
They're
sequel
doing
of?
a sequel for Mary Poppins. Like, no, you can't do that.
Let's unpack this a moment.
Yeah.
They're doing a sequel of one of the classics.
If Julie Andrews is not
starring
doing it,
Emily Blunt as Mary Poppins. Let's unpack this for a minute.
I'm not happy about that one.
No, it's just
the cooking spray. She's probably got an empty one.
No worries.
I have a couple empty
There's no
ones.
sequel here, folks. I'm telling you, it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
So anyway, Casablanca, To Kill a Mockingbird. These are all great movies. What's your favorite, my love?
Okay, as far as musicals go, I really like The Greatest Showman, but probably Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
Oh yeah,
is one of my favorite ones.
That's my second.
But as far as just movies, like ones that just kind of make you feel good and everything, like I really like Sandra Bullock and While You Were Sleeping, and that kind of like shows what generation I was from, because that came out like right as I was coming out of high school or right after I came out of high school, and I actually think I may have gone with, it may have been Leah to see that movie. So
LOL, literally my grilled cheese was burning and you smelled it, Kevin. I ran over, it was as soon as you said that. Well, listen, you can't waste grilled cheese now. I mean, that's very important.
Yeah.
Willy Wonka, the original Willy Wonka.
Yes.
And
he always creeped me out. Like
Gene
Wilder, like he always, I don't know. Well, then again, like Johnny Depp's Willy Wonka is way creepier than.
Yeah, I feel like Johnny Depp's. I feel like Johnny Depp's Willy Wonka would have eaten you.
Yeah.
Not just the candy, but you.
Yeah.
And so that's why I don't quite. I'm a huge fan of Gene Wilder. Matter of fact, that reminds me of a movie that he was in that I can't remember the name to.
He was in a lot of them.
He was, but he was in one particular with Gilda Radner, his wife.
Yeah.
It was called Moon something. Honeymoon.
Grease was good.
I can't remember. Yeah, so. Grease was good. I'm going to share with you my favorite. Listen, I think these are the most epic movies of our generation, and this is. I'm trying not to oversell this too much because I know everybody's going to be like, oh, okay, Kevin, but I honestly was impacted when I saw them, and my life changed the moment. Well, the season that I went and saw them, my life drastically changed, and so I will always love the Lord of the Rings series. That is my favorite movie, and that is the very first movie I ever saw with Heather and her family. Yeah. And it was epic. I sat in that theater in awe. I'd never read the books. I'd never heard of Lord of the Rings. It was awesome.
No, Rain Country is not the Twilight series. I watched the first one of that movie, and I looked at
That's
Kevin,
an hour of my life I'll
and I
never
was
get
like,
back.
well, it's not even an hour. It's like 2.5 hours long, and I'm like, I will never get that time
Who
back.
knew vampires were so boring?
I know, gosh.
He's like
God.
1,000,000 and she's like 16. Ew, that's a
Yeah.
lot, guys.
I don't know. I just don't like when.
What
was
about
it,
Where
that
the
when
Red
people-
Fern Grows?
Oh, that's a good
It's
one.
Is that a good one? Trucking It Up likes that one.
Yeah.
The fact that
Haunted Honeymoon, that's it. Yes, Haunted Honeymoon,
Yeah.
Gilda Radner, Gene Wilder, classic, so funny. Oh my goodness. They play, oh my gosh. There's a whole thing going on behind us.
Yeah.
We're just going to keep pushing through. And so, yeah, those are some of my favorite movies. Those are some of Heather's favorite movies.
Yeah.
Okay, so runners-up would be King Arthur with Clive Owens. I like that one. I also like any of the Jason Bourne series.
I like the first Captain America.
That was a good one.
I
That was a
really
good
like
one.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like I like
The Emperor's New Groove.
Oh, my
sure,
God.
Beware of the Groove.
Beware of the Groove.
I like Clear and I like any of the like Tom Clancy, Clear and Present Danger, Patriot Games, Hunt for Red October, those kind of movies. Big fan of those. Air Force One with Harrison Ford. That was a good one.
I'll watch like what Kevin calls the girly foo-foo movies, which like Pride and Prejudice and Sense and Sensibility. So I like those.
Oh, your mom said We're No Angels.
Yes. Oh my
The first
gosh.
one of those. The first one. The first one.
The original
not
one
with Tom.
with Humphrey Bogart in it. That one's really good. I like where they've got. They've got the snake named Adolf, and like they lose him, and it's a very like if you're looking for a really good old movie to watch, We're No Angels is hysterical. I love it. So
A Connecticut Yankee.
and King Arthur's Court, that one's a good one. Yeah.
Got to Go Have a Good Night. I don't think I've heard of that one before.
No,
No,
Virginia's
she's
gotta go. Bye, Virginia.
I don't think I've heard that movie.
All right.
Anyway, Heartbreak Ridge. That's awesome. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Now there are some that I like that aren't. They're kind of rated R, but they're like they're true to the story. It's just they're too gory, and I don't like to indulge in that stuff.
Yeah.
And so there are some that have a great storyline, but if they left out the gore, it would have been way better. But they're true to the story, like Saving Private Ryan. That was a big one.
That one made me cry. Oh, that one made me cry.
Yeah, that one was rough.
Yeah.
But Heartbreak Ridge was awesome too.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
No,
And
what's the one with
Braveheart?
Andrew Garfield in it?
Hacksaw Ridge. Yeah.
Hacksaw Ridge.
Braveheart, Gladiators, all
Yeah.
fun.
The Patriot, yes, The Patriot.
Oh man, that was a good one.
Yeah.
That was
Glory
a good one.
is a good one too.
That's a
yeah.
good one.
Yeah. So, all right. I think
So.
we're-
Anyway, those are some of the movies that we liked. Our kids are getting a little squirrely, so we got to go. And we want to say thank you very much for joining us. We are going to do our best to do live streams on a regular basis every Wednesday at 7:30. Sometimes we will have a Friday night freestyle. And as always, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram.
Oh,
we could
and
also have a website.
The other thing too, we've had people ask, are we going to bring the Devo back onto YouTube? And the answer is no. And the reason for that is we think that that's what
That's
got
part
us
of what it was, yeah.
in the first place, because we had Devo in all the titles, and we think that they saw that as spam. But the other reason is that on Facebook we can have a private group, so that when people put prayer requests there, it's not out there for the whole world to see. And and that's why we do it on Facebook now. So,
but keep tuned to the YouTube channel now that we can go live again. We'll be going live a lot more often in short little bursts, and we'll want you to join us for all of those crazy things. Let me read a couple of things from the thing. Kevin, I can tell you how to simulcast to both Facebook and YouTube if you're. Oh yeah, we want to. And Mike from Living on a Dime had mentioned that we could possibly do that. I'd love to hear it.
Closer.
Trucking Up says, Kevin, a caged bird can't fly. Stay out of jail. Okay, all. Take care. Have a good night.
All right.
Put number for vowels in your title. Oh, okay. That's a good idea. And so anyway, we're going to say goodnight like we always do. I'm going to pray us out. And I would just encourage you guys to continue to check out what we're going to do. It's a new season for the Goin Batty channel, and we have a lot of fun things cooking.
Yep.
If you'd like to know any information about us, check out the Goin Batty store at goinbattystore.com, and Heather has a blog there that's amazing. And
well, I've only got a few things on there.
It's still very good, so don't let her. She's very, very humble.
I'm not,
and it's very good.
A writer.
She did a good job.
When I feel moved to do something, then I will. So
let's pray real quick.
3 things up there.
You did a good job.
So, yeah.
Check that out. But let's pray. Father, we thank you so much for the privilege it is to be together in this awesome community. We have missed them so much. We're so glad to be back in community with them, and we pray that, God, you'll protect us and keep us safe as we go. We pray for everyone that's going to be around the Deep South Homestead meetup, and that you'll just make that a joyous occasion with a lot of great fellowship. Father, go before us, beside us, and behind us in your Son's mighty name. Amen.
Amen.
Guys, you don't know how thankful we are for you guys and the encouragement you've been to us. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, more updates as we go.
Ta-da! Ta-da!